Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly referee today, because today we're carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Mongoose Publishing's outstanding science fiction RPG Traveler 2nd Edition. And we are playing through, we're in the Pirates of Drinax arc of our campaign right now, so if you intend on playing the Pirates of Drinax, the classic mega adventure, I guess classic by now because it's almost 10 years old, campaign published by Mongoose Publishing, this session and this campaign will contain some elements of what's in there where our travelers are not pirates as of yet, at least not convicted of it. So but we will likely be using material from that, so if you don't want to have that spoiled, then just I would avoid listening to this until you have a chance to play. But if you are sticking around, allow me to introduce you to the crew of the Rift Wanderer, the stars of our Pirates of Drinax campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got James.
Hi, I'm James, and I'm playing Captain Ganny, the dedicated engineer of the ship.
Very nice. Yeah.
Oh, he just calls himself Captain?
Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Anchor Gavel, who is the best pilot in the subsector. He's a Imperial Naval trained barger. Rose up to the big old E4 rank, so petty officer first class. So yeah, he's like I said, we did the Borderland Run in less than 12 parsecs. I'm going to say that until somebody stops me.
Nice. Next up is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David. I'm playing Dr. Ilyas Bedell, a gifted physician and part owner of the Rift Wanderer.
Very nice. And last, but certainly not least, is Graham.
Hi, I'm Sinister Third Imperium Sunburst Symbol, otherwise known as Graham.
Naval Intelligence.
Sorry, my camera is not working, or I can't get it to work. I am playing Laris Zathu, who is a Darien analyst.
Yes, I love that all the characters are slowly becoming euphemisms for what their actual backgrounds are. So, guys, I think most of us were here last time, with the exception of James. So would you guys like to fill our captain in on what happened last time? And I'm going to have some visual aids to assist with that. So our first off is your current employer.
Yes, we agreed to help them out. And we also agreed not to negotiate the payment we were offered, which they saw as something positive, which might stand us in good stead in the future. And we got 1/4 of the payment up front, as is sort of tradition. And then Larry's impressed everyone by revealing his eye for detail when it comes to reading contracts meticulously well.
I got to use Advocate. I got to use Advocate. Woo!
But a second career open to him.
A very handy but little oft-used traveler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we planned we going to jump to Drinax. So we picked up some mail, a bit of extra cargo, so incidental cargo, because that's all we have space for, to the extra fuel bladder. And most importantly, we decided to take passengers on board, Captain. And we have 3 passengers, which would absolutely not cause any problems, because they are a...
When has that ever caused problems before?
Exactly.
Okay, so
we have Boris Oakleby, an army vet.
Bear with me a moment. I will give you some handouts here as well, and then I'll drop your passengers on the thing. So Boris Oakleby. Am I spelling that right? It's a made-up name, I guess, anyway. So whatever way I spell it is Oakleby, I guess. Is that right? Hold on. I'm second guessing myself. No, Oakleby. You have it right. I had it wrong. This is Burris.
Oh, all right.
Nice. A retired army that fit as a fiddle brought a gun on board.
Yep. Who's next? Is it Mother Candle?
We have Candle Hollaby, the founder of the Candle of Hope Ministries, which believes in self-actualization or some sort of self-improvement, which apparently there's a lot of money to be made in that sort of thing.
And there is Mother Candle.
Just as I would have pictured her.
What's that? What's that?
That's just how I would have pictured her. Yeah.
And the last one is going to be a bit of bad news because I don't think we're going to have a better named NPC at any point in any game ever.
All right, yes. We also have Solomon Chase, ex-cop turned investigator, who's, as his name indicates, chasing a lead.
The camera also always goes into black and white when he is on screen.
Yeah.
So there are your 3 passengers for the... what's going on here? There we go. For the 2 weeks of travel. And I'll put the names down. Sure, it won't be important. See? The doctor actually had a chance to interact with each of them individually, and then Anchor had a chance to talk to Solomon in greater detail as well. Make sure. There we go. I was going to say, I don't know why it's not set to default that you can see, but that's a default I set, so I'm really to blame for you guys not being able to see the names. Problem between keyboard and share, as the IT guys tell me. Here we go. Solomon Chase. Anything else, Doctor, that you recall?
I believe there's a minor, maybe something the captain can look into. One of the environmental life support settings keeps resetting to default or something, but it doesn't seem to be causing any problems. And Anchor, during his chat with Solomon, found out that he's been on the same case for 3 years now. He's always one jump behind kidnapping.
Yeah.
A young girl was kidnapped and he's very sort of driven to, but now he has a lead that apparently on Drinax he'll finally be able to catch up with. And as his tradition, Anchor offered our help. But beyond that, other than he's somewhat obsessed with it, we don't know any details about other than some young girl got kidnapped and he's clearly well-resourced or well-funded for his 3-year case, but beyond that, we've not established much yet.
Anything else you guys recall? Which is not to say there is, but...
Sorry.
Go ahead, Graham, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think the other critical thing about Solomon Chase that I recall is that his cholesterol levels were much higher than they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly unhealthy.
Anything else? Mother Candle offered to do a presentation for the crew as well.
Yes.
For information about the information she shares, which she is a fly-by-night huckster or a deeply gifted spiritual guide, depending on whether you've got money or not. So, anything else do you guys recall from last time? I rewatched the last half an hour of the session just to refresh my memory, and Anchor was going to work on the environmental systems to see if she can work out whatever the error is. It's basically, instead of defaulting to sort of like pre-acclimatizing you to Drinax, it's pre-acclimatizing you to Spurl once again. So you're going to feel, it's a subtle thing, but it's a little way to help you get used to the air and whatever else in the thing. So it just has a strange, Old Spice, smelling quality to the ship at this point. Captain Ganny, was there anything you wish to do on the world? Any purchases you wanted to make before you departed that we didn't get it to do? Or that you didn't do?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll wait till Drinax.
And the decision, you guys picked up a image generator for Ultima 1, right? So he has that
right.
holographic disguise. What do you want him disguised as for this leg of the trip? Just so we know who he is. He looks exactly like Solomon Chase. Oh, no, this is embarrassing. No.
I guess what would he like to be disguised as?
That is an interesting question. I think he probably would very much like he looks, but more obviously passing as human. I think. So he would just picture what Ultima 1 looks like, but a big, honestly, it's fucking Dave Bautista, it looks like. If you picture a younger Dave Bautista, that's basically what Ultima 1 will look like now. You know what? Which would be actually a great fit with the sort of Wise thing. The way he looked in the Blade Runner sequel. With kind of the jumpsuit, he's a little older, but he's still a big person. That's sort of what probably his disguise looks like. Then, next thing we need to do is roll for luck. So if everyone give us a D6 roll.
Oh.
Ooh.
Nothing risky today.
I should really rethink that pirate encounter. All right, so then, what you guys... I guess first off, Captain, do you have any questions about your non-frozen passengers?
No, all good.
Okay. So then, what Anchor? One thing that you had talked about last time was just the sort of the suspicions you had about Solomon Chase. Am I correct in thinking that you'd be snooping in the first week in transit? I don't mean by going through his things. I mean just like looking into what you can look into while you're in transit.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I think you would. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to some of the others. This story didn't quite add up. He's not telling us everything,
Yeah. What do you guys wish to do with Mother Candle's offer?
I think Laris had some very strong views on that.
I do. But Laris is very keen to see the presentation. Yeah, it's important to be tolerant and understanding of other people's views, even if they are shallow and pitiful.
Captain Garney will go to the engine room during that.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Gunny.
Anchor is interested. I mean, just to get
So what you pick up in the first couple of days,
because I think at least is what he knows from, not that he's a Varga from the extents, but religion is here today, gone the next in the Varga extents. So
oddly enough, Mother Candle is very much like that as well. Once the resources of the faithful are expired, it's time to head on. So
it should be interesting.
Yeah. So she agrees to do that. It'll be like 4 days into transit that she'll agree to do that. You have spoken briefly to Solomon Chase, who seems guarded. I think while if you are either getting reports from Alonso, or you are, viewing it yourself from interacting, or perhaps for Ultima One. What would he call himself? Maybe Yuri? So he's his pseudonym will be Yuri for the trip. So let's put this in here, aka Yuri. What Ultima One, or if you guys are interacting with them as well, Sullivan Chase very early on makes it clear to Mother Candle that he wants absolutely nothing to do with her, to the point where she might comment in passing obliquely that that he seems particularly challenged. He's finding himself at a particularly challenging part in his life. Burris,
who's that? Chase?
Yeah, Chase. Candle says that about Chase. But what you get filled on is he basically told her to, short trip to an airlock when she was trying to talk to him about this stuff. So it may just be, he has absolutely no use for her, what she's selling.
Her hokey religions.
Exactly. Burris, on the other hand, is seemingly, it's an attractive, charismatic young woman. He's got nothing to do except for, he's flying for work or for family. It would be for family, I suppose, not for work. And he seems at least to be spending some time with her and I think Laris, being a student of, social interactions, you would not be surprised if he would be following up with her at some point with, the for-profit religious training.
Profit with an F. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What you find though, Anchor? One thing that I imagine you looked into. You had mentioned it last session about the financing from his for his travels, right. And it. Why don't you give us a computers check?
Okay.
This is really just a matter of. You roll with a boon as well too, because we'll assume somebody on board is gonna be able to help you. And you got. I think there is a program that you have on the ship as well.
Well, do I not? I do not have computers. Wow.
You don't?
That is
okay.
Shocking. No, I do not. I have investigate as mine.
You could use investigate instead.
Yeah, intelligence or
sort of collating information. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Ultima One does the searches, and I start looking through it, I guess.
Precisely. That would work out.
Right, so still with a boon then? Or?
With a boon, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, big money. Nice roll.
Oh, that's good.
So there's two things that you are able to pick out of the things. For one, it seems as if either there is a corporation that is paying for his travels that does not seem to be. I did not have time to pinpoint what world he comes from yet, so my apologies for that. But there is a sector-wide smaller corporation, not the scope of GDCO. GDCO, boy, do we have scope. The company is called Peerless Passage. I'll put in chat here. Peerless Passage appears to be a kind of like you could say that they're effectively like a middleman business between kind of some of the services you might get if you had a TAS membership, where it's like arranging for stays and arranging travel, but across all the different, kind of wider ranging networks. If you're having to do long range movement within the Reach, Peerless Passage is one of those things that that you can hire on with. They don't. I mean, they're not even. PRQ is a more established company within the Reach than what Peerless Passage is, but it seems as if Peerless Passage has made all the arrangements for him since he left his planet. And one reason that's kind of curious, I mean, maybe he's just making use of their service to, and paying himself, but Peerless Passage has come up in another one of the strings that's on your bulletin board, and that's that he is something he had investigated and mentioned in passing, particularly once you learned about Alonzo's gifts, but Alonzo has experience with Peerless Passage.
Interesting.
Yeah. Peerless is, I think Alonzo once, if he didn't let you guys know beforehand, Laris accepted. You guys haven't had the conversation about his psychic abilities yet, but as a reminder, he was investigating a monastery or some kind of psychic order type thing, and discovered late in life that he actually had psychic abilities as well. And given the status of psychics in the Third Imperium, he has been kind of keeping himself, keeping that part of his capability secret, at least up until you guys were on Hilfer, when he kind of had no choice but to come clean about what had happened to him and what his abilities are. He hasn't. It's been one of his experiences, but unlike many of the other things and adventures that he's lived through, he hasn't written about Peerless Passage.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's not unusual. Like, nothing about the booking itself is unusual. Peerless does this for folks, but yeah, it seems like the 3 months he's been spending, they've been paying for. It seems that he's been traveling in similar accommodations the entire time, and a guy who is whose authority ends at the planet, it's strange that he would have the money to be able to finance that. So either further, investigation of Peerless may tell you who's paying his tabs, or Alonzo may be able to shed some light on, what his understanding and his knowledge of Peerless is.
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask Alonzo first if that's allowed, and then if not.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Jeff will be fine. I actually thought he might be here today, but what he... And I'm not sure, I will want to leave, if we can, the conversation with Laris and Alonzo for the two of you guys to play out, because I don't know how Jeff plans on doing that with new crew members, and I don't know how Laris would necessarily respond.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested in seeing how you guys handle that. But how do you approach Alonzo with it? Do you sort of go to his... Because he's now back in his regular room now that Teletoro's cleared out, with everything repaired, mind you.
I'd probably just be like, I'd requisition my my private investigator hat from the holodeck. Oh wait, wrong game. No, I'd go up to him and I say, "Hey, Alonzo, this guy, he is associated with Peerless. I know you've mentioned in the past. Can you tell me about Peerless?"
What he's able to tell you is, we'll let Jeff fill it in, what if there's anything else he wants to add for context in flashback in our next session. But what he can tell you in confidence is he's not the only one who has found themselves, traveling in the Reach, where the the Imperium has influence, if not actual control. The closer you get to the border, the closer it kind of gets to being people default to the Imperial way of doing things. And what Captain Ganny could, confirm is that there are several espionage organizations active for the Imperium that are out here. Their paranoia about psychics extends beyond what they, what their was within their borders, particularly with, the ever-present threat of the Zodani. And what Peerless effectively serves as is, it is what it appears to be, a kind of like, it's a corporation that spreads across a sector. So to call it mom and pop is really only in comparison to those other much bigger organizations. But what it also really does is it serves as kind of a either discreet or safe passage for psychics. So those who are in cultures or planets where the local organization or whatnot is hostile towards psychics, Peerless can kind of step in as a kind of troubleshooting, sort of espionage, sort of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like almost like a refugee, support, human rights, organization, but all very subtly. You would need to know what you were looking for in order to really pick out that that's the case, and they are very careful to try and not reveal that.
Interesting. So they're not like, they're helping this person potentially has psychic ability, and he's just trying to track her down. It's for her own safety.
It's tough to tell. That would be, if he's being financed, it either means he. So again, there is a possibility that he just books this, and he happened to use this service. But if you were looking for an explanation for why he's got the money to do this, this may serve as an explanation that there's something of interest about him or the girl or both that that got the attention of Peerless.
Okay, that's cool.
Alonzo's on.
It's interesting.
Good terms.
I definitely will share that.
Okay.
With these guys, the crew.
When Anchor shares that, Dr. Ilias will, because I did a checkup on Solomon. Did he have any of the markers for psychics?
Go ahead and give us a medicine check. Maybe you just pull it up on your, your data pad or whatever. So, the reason you didn't see it before is because he is on a fairly exotic suppressor. Something that would not only suppress abilities if he has them, it would also suppress the markers of them.
Interesting.
So there's some cocktail, his whole demeanor and whatnot, and his 1,000-yard stare and whatnot, if he's under the influence of this stuff, this is kind of like, it's not quite the same, and I don't mean to trivialize the impact of them, but it's almost like being on really, really strong antipsychotics, where it just sort of, it would zonk you out to the point where everything is sort of through a fugue or a kind of a haze. But yeah, and
well, so that suggests then that he is, he is like searching for this woman for presumably her protection. But I don't know. I guess I felt there was maybe another connection. Maybe there's like he's going after this person for so long. I understand the need to help with this kind of stuff, but I felt like there's something more. But maybe again, he's angry just reading into it. Like he had like some sort of like personal connection with this person. But,
I mean, Peerless doesn't just, it's not like free financing for, jauntabouts for psychics. They have a specific mandate that they, from the way that Alonso describes it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So it wouldn't, more to the point, your initial suspicion, if you're just thinking that there may be something more to that, that would be the kind of thing Peerless would finance.
Okay.
Is him being able to get around if there's something that has happened to this girl.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Long-term use of this repressant can't be good for him.
Not.
It's not other health issues.
Not at all.
Nothing that can't be corrected over time. Like things will recover over use, but it's not something. It likely would. His irascibility and his overall man burning the candle at both ends kind of thing does make a little more sense now, given that he's also sort of functioning with part of his usual, senses dulled, and also the other sort of cognitive impact of the use of those kinds of medications. So yeah, it wouldn't be good for him to be using this and if he's been doing it for 3 months, with a roll that good, you can see that he's probably been doing that. And without knowing, like your medical test wouldn't necessarily tell you what the nature of his gifts are, but imagine trying to do your job with some of your senses tied behind your back, as it were.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess the question is, are we friendly to people who have psychic ability on this ship? And if so, maybe he can, I guess there could be withdrawal, right? Symptoms. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting question, Anchor, because presumably these abilities, from my small understanding of them, would be rather useful in an investigation and finding someone. So the fact that he's dulling them is interesting.
Yeah. Well, maybe to prevent scrutiny. Right.
I would suggest, the girl was maybe kidnapped by those less friendly to psychics, and he's trying to avoid detection while looking for her.
Yeah. Interesting.
One thing you recall on Hilfer, how did Alonso's incident start? This is like the anti-smoking portion of our... Because he went to buy cigars.
He ran into...
I think it was Dr. Ilias who was in. You were just walking... Yeah, he was just walking into a store and then just
collapsed as Did we establish there were some drones nearby?
There were drones that were observing everything.
Yeah.
And
then
what
the intercessor seemed to reach out or had some sort of defensive.
Yeah. Which suggests that you're not aware of any drone that can like detect psychic shit from a distance, right? I mean, maybe there's Donnie have something, but the intercessor did not seem to have that kind of technology. So when he hit Alonso at a distance, yeah, I think you could reasonably conclude that that meant he must have had some way of detecting him. If you were psychic and wanting to conceal that that's the case from other psychics, this would be a effective way of doing it. It would also be a hell of a thing. There are certain conditions, especially for those who, like psychic, there's a variety of different kind of psychic powers in the Traveler universe, but for telepaths, if you've got mental illness, if you're in a state of intoxication, if you've got anything that is physiologically fucking up your brain chemistry or your cognitive patterns, that's going to make it more challenging for snooping. It doesn't make it impossible, but it'll mean it's a less pleasant place to occupy. So if you were so inclined to conceal yourself, to act as camouflage, a brain damaged drunk would be a pretty effective way where people would be like, nah, I don't need to look any further. David, we lost your camera. Did we lose you as well?
No, I'm still here, but yeah, I've lost everyone else's camera.
Oh, here. Can we reconnect?
So you're just being shy?
There, I got you back. Okay.
My internet had a wobble.
So yeah, that's when I think that you rolled quite well on your medicine roll or your medic roll. So looking at the stuff and having treated Alonso recently for sort of the nature of what a psychic attack, as it were, is on a telepath, you're not wrong that not advantaging yourself with whatever your gifts could give, but this would be a way of sneaking up on someone who is. Now, whether that's the girl, the other people, or both, that's an open question.
Yeah.
So what does the rest of the crew make of that?
Yeah, I mean, do we talk to him, confront him? Is it worth it? Keep it to ourselves?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It's the most fascinating phenomena, psionics. And it speaks greatly of the history of my people.
Mm-hmm.
The unabashed paranoia with which the Third Imperium persecutes these scions is most disturbing. It is not harmonious at all. And for my people, perhaps I should not be too candid, but let's just say that there were enclaves within the Darien Confederation where there was peace and there was a place of safety for people who just were of that persuasion that people cannot help being like this. It is perhaps to be seen as a gift and a variation. The difficulty I have is the way that the Third Imperium persecutes vehemently such people, or at least appears to do so. Now that we find some on our ship, perhaps, then I might, from my perspective, see this as an enclave, as a place of safety for this person, away from, well, prying eyes and prying interference from the Third Imperium. I'm not sure Gani would agree, but that's certainly my view of this. So, however we treat this gentleman, it should be done with respect and caution, I think.
Right.
Agreed. I don't think we have to broach it with him just yet. He offered our hell banker, right? So if he's willing to tell us more
Yeah, if
about
he's
his
willing to
case,
tell us more. Right. But maybe now Alonso can approach him as a peer. at some
Yes.
point. So
Or peerless.
cool. That's kind of neat.
Captain, how do you feel about having?
Yeah, we all get told about these Jodani, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I disapprove, but we're outside the Imperium, and I've been living outside the Imperium for long enough. But I'll keep an eye on him.
So what would you guys like to do then? Where we left things was you were going to canvass with your crew, Anchor, to see how everyone wants to respond to helping him. You did mention, or he learned last time, that you guys have an audience with King Oleb. And if you guys have the ear of the king, that is a big thing for him.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if we'll feel obligated to let King Oleb know about this guy's abilities if they were to meet. Right.
If Dr. Ilias is...
I mean, Anchor, that would be a terrible breach of patient-doctor confidentiality, which I cannot condone.
Also, from what you can tell, like, whatever this guy's psychic abilities are, none of them are functioning at this point with the amount of drugs in his system.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting point. Do we know how Drinax feels about psychics?
That's a good point.
I mean, Drinax, they're not outlawed. The Sindalan Empire didn't carry over necessarily the same, persecution or whatnot of psychics. I don't think they're. This is actually a lore question I don't know the answer to. Did the First Imperium outlaw psychics, or was it only in the third?
It was in the third during the 800 sonic suppressions. We're taught that in the Navy. Beware the scion. It could be a Jodani spy.
Yeah, so then I think that they would have been incorporated into the crew to take advantage, or the society to take advantage of their abilities and whatnot. It's a rarity still. It's not like the Jodani or Zordani or whatever who have incredible amounts of incredibly common psychic abilities. The sort of tailored genetics that have been featured in the line of Drinaxi rulers probably would prevent that kind of emergent gift or talent the way that it seems to in the Traveler universe. So I don't think they have a policy against it. I don't think it's very common in his court though. But he doesn't actively suppress scions the way that the Third Imperium do. Neither did the Sindalan Empire. For all the shitty fucking things they did. Listen, we did do genocide, but we did not suppress telepaths. We used them to commit genocide. So, yeah. It's not necessarily something that's going to, it'll be illegal for them to be there. Not for nothing too, you probably don't want to prompt him to start adopting a policy of inspecting for psychics too, because that could end poorly for Alonso.
Well, it also ruins trade with Hilfer, right?
And they propose it seems some sort of alliance between Hilfer and Drinax as well, so that you guys communicated to them. You haven't been back to Hilfer yet, that's right. I'm sure nothing's going on there.
Or maybe you can have a meeting with Solomon, the crew and Solomon, to seeing as you offered our help, Anchor, maybe we can all meet with him and ask more questions about the case.
Yeah, I mean, you seem kind of amenable, right? Do you seem amenable to?
Yeah, definitely. If you'll, I think if you ask him about it, he will want discretion because it seems Mother Candle seems to have figured out that there's something going on with Solomon, and the more she has been pestering him, even though he has intentionally told her to leave him the fuck alone. He does not want to give her reason to think that there's something else going on. Dr. Ilias, I think you probably were the one that either you or Anchor, that she brought the, he seems to be going through having a very difficult period at present. And said in a way as if like to try and prompt you to give information to her.
Oh, me?
Either of you guys. When in passing, one of the times when you were just passing through to maybe see Alonzo, she had asked about him. That's how you learned of him telling her to stay the fuck away from him.
All right. Well, we're very strict on this ship about passenger privacy. So, ma'am, I would not pry. We take strongly anything that we learn, especially since we have to, of course, check people's vitals, etc. That's part of our procedure.
That
Anchor have an issue. If you have an issue, take it up with the doctor.
Are you saying that there is something to be concerned about for his privacy?
I'm just saying in general. Any of the passengers.
Well, I hope that in addition to their...
I arranged for you to do your little speech thing, so, don't let me tell the captain to not do it.
That is greatly appreciated, and I think you will greatly benefit from it, but I do wish and hope that you not only consider the privacy of the passengers, but also their safety.
Oh, of course.
I would hate for the secrets of one passenger or whatever her scheme or project they are working towards, I would certainly hope that would not impact on any of us.
And if I may, just in passing, I could turn to her just as I'm passing the two of you in the corridor and say, "You're so right. It's not all about the individual, is it?" I keep walking.
She kind of,
and I guess technically I go, Mother.
It's funny
Mother,
you say that, Mr. Zathu.
Have you ever seen Raw Jump Space? Would you like me to have Captain Ghani open a portal for you?
I'm sorry, Anchor. Mr. Zathu, if you are interested in the strengths to be found within the self, I have some very interesting. There are some mystics among the planet, and she's just. It's all nonsense,
Yeah.
And again, though, you're also like stellar cartography is kind of your shtick, or navigation is kind of your shtick too. So she's mentioning planets that don't fucking exist.
Yeah, that's right. But but I must say, I do love the way you've decked out the room. The candles are beautiful. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. It is very important. Yeah. There is among the believers of Emmett 3, they all have that in this particular arrangement there is a special power to be found within it, not measurable by any known devices, mind you, but something from an even older time, a true way of accentuating and accelerating the self. And that is, of course, what we wish to do with the Candle of Hope. We always wish to see the and this is just going to carry on for I will spare you, but
Speaker's going to leave. I'll just leave.
Yeah. I think the best that I can do is to try and distract her by feigning interest, or not so much feigning interest, but having a sort of a genuine interest in how she contorts herself for the purposes of her religion, and so I can affect an interest which is more an intellectual curiosity at the vacuous nature at which she speaks.
Yeah. Why don't you give us a I think investigate, and with a boon, because you're actually, or sorry, what is deception? Is it deception?
It could be deception, yes. I was hoping to major on intellectual curiosity.
Yeah, so use deception and intellect with a boon to reflect that you're actually, interested in what she has to say.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't have deception, but let me just do that anyway.
Sure.
So if I do deception...
And you guys have... I mean, you have so much luck to play... wait, hold on. Hopefully the boon will make the difference here.
I've got the boon on, and it's deception with what, sorry?
Intellect.
intellect. If I click that, I think I need to put the -3 modifier in. Let me do that and
let's
see what
if
it
it's
looks like.
Yeah, unthinkably low.
Oh, look at that!
What the? Okay. So
there. So it's 7, 8.
What I'm basically,
I think it's done it right. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm setting up is for her. I'm going to make a roll for her to see if she picks up that you're sort of stringing her along. So would you like to, before I make that roll, would you like, and I'm going to make hers with a Bane because you are actually interested in it.
Okay.
So would...
I don't know.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Like a trivial thing. Where are we? We're halfway through the session.
Yeah.
How much luck have we got? 8?
8 in total.
Oh, sure, I don't want to absorb. I don't know if I want to absorb luck from the team for this, to be honest. I think she's going to see through me. Make a roll.
Okay. So with a Bane, unfortunately, I still... she has sort of sussed out what's going on, but it gets to the point, like, I think you do get your information, though, and she is an exceptionally gifted bullshitter. It is. She's the kind of... I don't know why I just put all the dice away. Carl, I'm using my Marvel dice today because I had so much fun playing with them yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
They got the Marvel dice have got a great hand size too. They're slightly oversized dice.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that starter set. I hope that
next month. This month.
Nice.
They haven't given an update on it yet, but it's supposed to be out this month. And Come On is usually pretty good with their deliveries.
Yeah, they do like Zombicide, right? So
they do Zombicide, Marvel United, Marvel Zombies, Deceased.
Okay.
Yeah, they're some of the best and most.
They just don't communicate apparently.
And it's not a kick. It wasn't a crowdfunder, so it was a not a crowdfunder pre-order. So pre-orders, go fuck yourself. We don't have to give you anything. So, except for the product. Hopefully,
I'm looking forward to it because it has. I did the whole shebang. So.
Yeah, me too. I
like that game. It reminds me I need to get it up. Maybe I just do. If no one's available, I'll just have Amy do Jessica Jones stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's our Moon Knight team up nowadays. So here's what you found is you, for one, she's extremely gifted. She is very good at constructing the kind of engagement that is needed for you. So she seemed like whatever would respond. You feel like the first part of when you were talking to her was her sort of feeling out, are you someone more spiritual? Are you someone more, need to, know, it's how she's a exceptionally gifted grifter. It's what a lot of effectively hypnotists and others do. They're incredibly good at reading a room. In fact, what they do, I've been one with a very, very good UK one. What they do in a huge room is they do a series of little exercises to see how far he can lead them along. And gradually, as he's ratcheting it up, more and more people are sitting down, leaving the people standing up who he can't get through. But the most amazing thing then is he memorizes who they all are. Yep. In
the room, so that when he does his future escapades on stage, he never asks those people because he knows he can't get through to them. It's a remarkable skill, and definitely. I sense I've got a little bit of that going on here. Oh, and to the point where it's only after the fact that you realize she has sussed you fully out that you realize that's what she's been doing, and you're like, for whatever level of guile or duplicity or whatever else that Laris may engage in, for a professional necessity, there's a reason she can go planet to planet and just grift the fuck out of people and then move on to somewhere else. I think Laris being Laris, though, what he will do is to sort of cap this conversation, is actually to sort of suffuse her with praise. You are clearly somebody who I would say is almost suffused with very powerful gifts, a very strong communication ability. it is a great gift. I trust that you will use it wisely. I am most impressed.
And there's a smirk she gives you that you think may be the only authentic thing you've seen in 4 days, where she just nods and kind of recognizes that, like, that game recognizes game kind of situation. Where
Fun.
you're fucking right, buddy. And then it immediately goes back to the, mother candle thing. It's a procedural, so like it's got the limitations of that kind of thing too. But the Mentalist, the TV show, is, I'm not really one for a lot of those, like, whatever Belisario, NCIS, and whatever else. That one, or Bruno Helder who did this one actually, but that one is exceptional for that because the main character is playing a like reformed charlatan in it, and he is assiduously nonviolent. And it's such an interesting character in contrast to like problem solvers who get into fisticuffs or whatnot. The actor visibly winces and hides when guns come out and stuff in it. So he's like mentally acute, and it makes for an interesting drama, but a utterly disengaged, he's an utterly non-violent lead character in the series, which is such an exceptional thing for American television, or North American television. That matters.
What show is that?
The Mentalist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Really great stuff.
Monk for a minute.
In contrast to Banshee, which is what I'm working.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's in this one. It's not played for like laughs. In some cases, that kind of thing can sometimes be played for laughs. It's just an authentic performance where that kind of stuff happens. Like he reacts the way anyone would if a fucking gun was pulled out and you're not used to being around guns, right? Or not comfortable around guns when they might be fired. I really enjoyed the series for that kind of thing. But anyway,
if you ever get chance, I don't know if the British illusionist and writer ever hits the States, but if you do get a chance to see Darren Brown, he's a remarkable individual.
Okay, I'll
really clever at being able to read a room and create kind of magic by misperception.
Yeah, and like a study of human nature.
Yeah, very much so.
So that is Mother Candle in a nutshell. So you will be able to bring that back to the crew to forearm them that she is watching and looking for every opportunity to try. In addition to seemingly getting her hooks into Burris and looking forward to sharing information with him and his family about the Candle of Hope Ministries.
Poor Burris.
Yeah. I hope that.
As long as they don't want to try to take our ship.
Has anyone checked on Yuri? Has he spoken to her yet? Actually, I'm going to make a roll for that before we take our mid-session break.
Oh, no.
So I can know whether she sussed out that something's different about Yuri. Would someone give us a 3d6 roll, please? Oh, 3d6.
Who hasn't rolled yet?
That's a great roll. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Good roll.
I hope that's for the good guys.
It's a good roll for you guys.
I do that with my players a lot. I have them roll for random encounters and stuff like that, and they're like, I don't know what I'm rolling.
Oh yeah.
Although I know, like, one of my players, when I have them roll from random encounters, he always rolls a 6, which is a random encounter.
Yeah.
Like,
What's Dave? God, Dave is our weatherman in every campaign he plays in because he routinely rolls terrible weather encounters in every game. There have been more. It's like. In our Night Below campaign, you'd think it was fucking Tornado Alley because we had so many tornadoes in the course of that game, thanks to Dave. Oh my god. So what if you are bringing Ultima 1 in on this conversation as well, or if perhaps Laris, because I don't think Laris has had an opportunity to interact with Ultima 1 yet. So maybe that'd be, you know what, why don't we take our mid-session break now? We started a little late, but we'll take our break at the usual time. And then you and Ultima 1 can compare notes. Because you guys had that, like, infiltration mission together as well. Yeah, so, then why don't we take our mid-session break now, and then we'll come back and see what happens next. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
You too. You two babies. You two babies.
All right. Oh, Graham, if you're back, just say you're back. That's you'll be the one we won't be able to see. I'll put it in chat.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Okay, great.
Sorry, apologies. Yeah.
No, that's okay. Anna says hi as well. She's been very quiet today. Not to jinx it, but who are we yelling at? We had. Oh, someone is. Oh, someone parked outside our place. Sorry, they're leaving momentarily, so I think Anna will be done saying hi shortly. Then, maybe I'll mute myself. Yeah, while I'm not talking. Where am I here? Trying to make sure I don't hang up on you all. So, all right. So the Laris and Ultima 1. Both of you have had an opportunity to speak to Mother Candle. And what Ultima 1 is, I'm picturing all this is happening again around your kind of like, communal meal / debrief / plan for how to handle the potential, case with Solomon Chase. But what the case with Solomon Chase, I'm pretty sure I saw that published in 1935. So what Ultima 1 asks Laris is what your impression is of what risk she poses. We have a number of secrets on the ship that we would prefer not gone, and she seems eager to profit from anything. I don't think she was here to specifically seek things out. I also think she is exceptionally intelligent and unlikely to leave any opportunity behind.
I would agree.
Agrees.
Superficially, Campbell is superficial, and therefore could be very easily lull you into believing that she professes no threat at all. And potentially that still might remain true. She is, however, as you say, highly intelligent, and she is quite gifted, I would say, in the way that she communicates. I think there is potential that she is fundamentally someone who looks out only for herself and for a profit that she can make. She can make profit in many, many ways, and not just in professing her faith. This unfortunate combination of highly intelligent inquisitiveness, selfishness, and precocious intelligence could potentially be a threat. That's my take.
I would agree. I also observe that she seems to have secured the confidence of Mr. Okalvi? How are we saying that now? I can't remember. Okalvi?
Okalvi,
yeah.
She seems to have secured the confidence of Mr. Okalvi. They have been spending a great deal of time together.
Well, that may be the case, and depending on the nature of that assignation, that may indeed be beneficial if they are wrapped in each other's attention, it takes their attention or her attention away from other things.
I think the infatuation goes in one direction.
Of course.
I do not believe I have given her any cause to be particularly interested in the truth of Yuri's circumstances. But I think it best that I do not think she has the influence to cause any direct harm to me or by proxy the crew.
No, not directly, Ultima One, but may I say, if I may, candidly, despite your tech level 12 disguise net, she'll see through you a right treat.
It was my concern as well. I think perhaps Yuri will be busy with other tasks for the duration of this voyage, though I will, with a less crafty sounds, I don't think it has an inherent to it, but it feels misogynistic saying it with a less intelligent individual, I would be inclined to try and mislead or misdirect. But I fear that I would not be successful in doing so and would only trigger further interest.
There is no doubt of that, Yuri. No doubt at all.
He flashes the disguise back on and smiling Dave Bautista looking back at you. Then it is a curious circumstance with this Mr. Chase, is it? I knew that the Imperium had strict processes for dealing with, or for managing the psychic elements within their society, but are they actively hunting them is there cause for such precaution in the Trojan Reach?
I do find it, if I may say, slightly amusing how neutral the terms you use for the Third Imperium's persecution of psionic individuals. It is a process, and they are managed. I may say that I might use slightly more colourful language to describe their treatment of such individuals.
Indeed. Given the long history in the Imperium's navy that so much of our crew shares, I wished only to speak in as neutral a term as I could. Though I suspect privately, Laris, we may share an assessment. They feel
Indeed.
the same way towards artificial intelligence and artificial life as well.
Yes, agreed.
But Anchor, you have had the most dealings with Solomon Chase thus far. What are you inclined to do?
I put forward to the crew. He's looking for help. He's looking for someone. He's been looking for this person for a long time. I put forward to the crew that perhaps we could help him or offer our help, whether he takes it or not. Well, it's too many side quests. You know what happens. Well, I mean, we're prone to doing a lot of side quests.
Life is always interesting.
No, it is. That's what we do, though. I think. Recall Hilfer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we've offered to help, and he may or may not want it, and it's up to him, I guess. That's the way so I would be inclined to help, but I'm not in charge. I just fly the ship.
I agree. We should help him.
Or at least
We need
offer.
more information.
Yeah, offer to help. He might not want it, right? I mean,
So, I know I'm telling him, Anna. Because Jeff's not here, we'll use that as the excuse for why Alonso. Perhaps he thinks that, having his, his psychic secret, as it were, sort of thrust into into your awareness was not something that he had planned. It was just because of the way things went on Hilfer. He's thinking that this guy is taking such steps to the point of medicating himself into, dulling those abilities. He probably is equally cautious with doing it. So confronting him with, from one psychic to another may not be the best approach. So he is suggesting that if you had dealings with him, Anchor, perhaps you or one of the other crew members would do so. Ask him for this meeting that you're proposing.
or invite him to our crew dinner. I mean, I don't know.
I think this is your Ultima One speaking. I think Mother Kendall would be acutely aware of who is being invited to watch.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to talk to him.
She is not the captain of this ship, though, so if she does not like it, she is welcome to, what's the old saying? Walk.
Walk into jump space. I mean, the plank. Yeah.
You'll do it, Anchor?
Okay, I'll try to talk to Solomon Chase and say, hey, talk to the other members of the crew. If you're willing, we'd be more than happy to help.
So let's say you'll find him. I guess first off, is there anything else anyone else wishes to discuss about this before Anchor goes and invites him to your secret meeting?
But if we want to keep it slightly secret from Mother Candle, does she have regular self-actualization hours with Burris? Is this a regular candle session or whatever they do?
If that's what the kids are calling it now, then yes. They are vigorously self-actualizing on a semi-regular basis. I think that...
Captain, what kind of ship is it?
Perhaps, if you wish, again, to excuse Alonso's absence, he that would have a certain psychic resonance to it, and he is gifted telepathically, so he may be able to tell you when the two of them are most likely to be distracted, so you might approach Solomon and invite him to your meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I said I've talked to the crew. We'd be inclined to help if you would want our help.
Okay. So then, if there's nothing else that you guys wish to talk about before, you guys get the message from Alonso that they are engaged, and you're able to go up and do you want to contact him on the comm, on like the ship-wide, like the ship-to-ship comm, or you want to go to his door, Anchor?
Probably go to his door. That seems
okay.
Or maybe ship-to-ship comm is probably more subtle. Door could be seen.
So if you message him, he answers, "What?"
Because I've spoken to the crew, and if you're wanting our help, we are interested in hearing what you have to say.
There's a pause on the other end. Over this call?
No, we would have a meeting.
That's agreeable. Now, or?
Well, we'll let you know.
I'm assuming you guys were calling when you knew Mother Candle was distracted?
Yes, now. Now is a very good time.
I'll meet you in the cargo hold. And you can't hear it, but you can feel that he put his hat on. So he leaves and heads down to the cargo hold, dressed in his usual rumpled thing, looking, 5 o'clock shadow, looking as rumpled and kind of disheveled as what his illustration does. Is it just you who meets him in the cargo hold, or
I think everyone, right?
Where were you planning to have your meeting with him? In the conference room, or like the crew conference, or meal hall, or the cargo hold? You could do it in the low berth. They aren't going to hear anything.
Yeah, in the low berth. Yeah.
I think in the main crew where we have our, we can lock that off and make sure no one just stumbles in. The passengers should have access to it.
I can meet him in the cargo hold and then escort him up there.
Okay. So as he follows you in, he kind of does a quick study of everyone. Question for the crew. Is Ultima 1 meeting him as Yuri, or is Ultima 1?
As Yuri, right?
I would assume he's otherwise on the crew is Yuri, because I guess that's going to be who he'll be anytime he's off the ship, right? Until or unless he's discovered by Judico. Judico, we see you.
Yeah, they would have met him as Yuri, so I think for now, let's keep him as Yuri.
Got it.
Yeah.
So he comes in and he's got his trench coat on. I mean, it's still fucking setting the ambient temperature back to Spurl. So he's coming in, the trench coat on and the collar up, pulled against the temperature. You lot sure like keeping it comfortable in layers on the ship.
No, we're working on that.
I hear that you've talked over my circumstances.
Yes.
He's looking at the lot of you. He is a mind reader. Just, he's on his day off.
Yes, as Anka mentioned, we would be willing to help you if we can. I have some familiarity with Drinax and cases like this, so if there's anything we can do to help, but we would need more information.
Anchor said you know
we might be able to contribute.
Anchor said you know the king.
Yeah, I let it slip. Sorry, guys.
I mean, no is maybe a strong word. We have met the king. Would probably be welcomed back.
That's more than most.
I have yet to, says Laris, but I am greatly looking forward to it.
Must be nice. It's a girl. I'm looking for... She was taken from her parents against her will. Face kind of twitches. And I'm the only one still looking to get her back. If you could help my investigation says that they're going to be changing over at Drinax. If we can get there.
Oh, we're close. Okay.
This isn't the first time they've done this.
It's not the first time that we have rescued somebody who's been kidnapped. The crew here have a certain history and capability to that regard.
So, Anchor said.
Do you know why she was taken?
You can tell he is extremely reluctant to... He's mulling over what he can possibly say. It's off-world interests. And she's a great value, as all kids are.
When you say they have done this before, I have two questions. Who are they? And are you referring to them eluding you or them kidnapping kids before?
His eyes kind of fix on you, and he's got that, like, he's only 32 years old, but he has the look of someone who has seen shit. And what he says is, for they, I don't know yet. I meant changed by one group of handlers, passed her off to another one. And yeah, they've done this before, and in the Reach. They've got reach and influence in the sector. But secret. They can't act in the open. And kind of looks around. They can change minds. The parents, her parents, Evie was one of three. And by all accounts, the apple of her father's eye. But after he was taken, when we initially started the investigation, what was urgent and needed to pull out all stops. It's like they threw a switch and it didn't bother them no more. They didn't care. I don't know what does that, but yeah, I found two others previously elsewhere in the sector, missing, not all as young as Evie, but missing. And can't. Nobody else is thinking of her right now. They just changed. They did. They did before. But. And he kind of, again, like you can tell that he's got a lot more. Anchor, you got a good read on him before too. He definitely has. There's more he knows than what he's sharing, and he's probably oversharing more than what he would normally feel comfortable with, but the prospect of actually having people help him with this again, the feeling of, I mean, again, like imagine the gaslighting you would experience as an investigator when suddenly people are just acting differently and valuing things differently as you're going through your investigation.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I mean, I want to, based on the discussion we had before, I'm not going to say, well, I'm sure you could tell us more. I'm not going to say anything like that. He needs to trust us enough to reveal that, right? I think it's basically what we concluded, correct? I'm asking the
Yes.
other players. Yep. So, yeah.
What do you think you could do?
Well, go ahead.
I think there's 2 of them now. And they may have her... I don't know if she's posing as sick, posing as... or otherwise affected. But I can't... I know there's 2 of them. I got names, but names been changed. But faces. That'll be trickier. Oh, Yuri looks over at you guys like, well, maybe not so.
Yeah.
Their names weren't by any chance. Maybe this is some of Anchor's paranoia rubbing off. Their names weren't by any chance Owen Tian and Gustav Gruxen at one stage.
he looks over. No, but why? I know those
That would make
names.
things possibly easier or more complicated. But no, that's good.
They're rent investigators.
Yes. We had some run-ins with them and they were on my mind recently.
They were on the world recently.
Yes.
I don't know them, but when you're in those in the business, you see, we know to check in. And you think they might be involved in this? James's cat thinks so.
Oh, it's Lucy. It's our space mascot.
Yeah, we thought Lucy had a speak cat.
Oh.
I mean, you'd say so.
Do you know... To answer your question, I don't think they're necessarily involved. It's just because we had some run-ins with them, and you mentioned 2 of them. And do you know how this handover... You said they're going to switch handlers. Do you know anything more about how, when, where?
I know, and you can see he's just like the level of frustration he's got. I have faces. I've got names, but the names have changed. And I hear the place that they're passing off to, I've heard their names before, and it was the last time anyone had those other 2 that I mentioned. After that, no one saw those kids again. The ship has the registry Bunum. If it's at Drinax, that's where she's going. It's not a free trader class of vessel, but it's registered as a free trader. It's a merchant ship. if we can... I got proof of who she is. I got proof of where she's from. I got proof of who I am. She may not be herself, though. So for you to take a stranger's word, you're going to have to accept that she may not want to come with us.
This is similar to the switch and changing of minds you mentioned with her parents.
Is there anything you can do to maybe help that, or?
I've got friends who can help with that kind of thing. Those friends are the ones who reached out and are helping me. Nobody back home cares anymore. I care. They care. And he looks over at the whatever accoutrement you've got that is sort of like Imperial regalia in here. If there's anything that is like, you know, a ship in a bottle kind of thing or whatnot, I think he's mindful that he's among, you know, at least half you guys are all, you know, military vets of the Third Imperium. So he may be reluctant, knowing that you know he's psychic and knowing the circumstances, he may be reluctant to be speaking openly about this stuff.
You mentioned you know the faces of the people who are holding her. Do you have them on photograph, cameras, a way of sharing them with us?
His little data slate comes out and he holds up, and yeah, he's got two photographs, a man and a woman. The man appears Caucasian, and the woman appears like South Asian in coloring, and they both seem maybe they probably are older than what Solomon is, but they look younger than what he does. And it's sort of that, like, you know, blurry surveillance kind of footage, like snapped from either a surveillance drone or from a you know, hacking a camera or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you did something to assure him, like while prompting him to, you know, that you know his secret or whatnot, that may not be the best initial approach. But if you guys are already prepared to help and you're willing to sort of, we're all friends here, you know, kind of situation, that might assist with his willingness to chat.
Yeah, I think Dr. Elias will look around at his companions and then sort of look at Solomon and say, this switch in the mind, you wouldn't be referring to those with psychic abilities. We might have had some past experience with that as well.
Past experience with switched minds.
With psychics. Nothing as powerful as what you're referring to. But we are among friends here. Rift Wonder is open to all.
Kind of looks across at, you know, each of your faces. Open to all.
Beatific smile. Beatific smile from me.
Yanni, and you're like, open to all, Captain.
So he Oof. Ultima 1 drops his holographic image.
Oh, that's helpful.
Ooh.
And he looks up and he says, "We are, as the doctor says, all among friends." He's sort of looking at you all. Are you psychic?
Sadly not, no.
No, but the friends are.
He kind of narrows his eyes at you're Darien.
Yes, I'm not sure what gave it away.
It's your smile that allows you to get away with that too. He doesn't smile, certainly, but
No.
he kind of he doesn't take offense to it in any event. And
Yeah.
cards on the table. Then he takes his hat off and places it down. I'm psychic. Looks over at the doctor. But you know that, didn't you?
Yes.
I appreciate your discretion. When we're done with whatever this is, maybe you can help me with the headaches. Those drugs, they work, but it's like I got a fusion torch at my temple. On my world, it's not outlawed being what I am. But you don't talk about it. When I ain't drugged, I got a knack for reading people. And Evie, she had something similar. She was young. As far as these things go, she was going to be a lot stronger than what I am. Whatever was... He looks around. None of you? None of you are psychic? If you're not a reader, you wouldn't know that. You know when you talk to someone and you know them well enough to know that something's going on that they're not letting on to? That there's something bothering them, but they're not bringing it up? Whatever was done to those people, to Evie's folks, that's the feeling you get when you see that. And I've seen it done at nearly every starport I go to. Whoever these two are, whoever these people are who took Evie, they're gifted in a way that Evie will be one day. And I think they're just going around the Reach, taking those that would otherwise wouldn't be welcome in the Imperium, and taking them for something.
Interesting.
Is there any chance their motives are benevolent? Backing them, as you have said, they're not psychics aren't welcome everywhere.
they aren't I don't want to sound like I'm buying into Third Imperium propaganda. But the Zodani are here. And they embrace that stuff. And while, if you ask them, and if it is them, they may say they've got the best of intentions, a better place. But that's not for them to decide.
Oh, but that's very much their way. You'll of course know the history between the Zodani and the Darien. They may believe that they're in the right, but they will deceive to find their way.
He nods. We're of the same mind on this.
Yes.
You know that feeling I talked about? Imagine that's you. That's what he's left, what they've left her parents with. Acting as if they don't care anywhere. That it doesn't bother them. That she's gone. But it's there. That loss is there.
And they will feel it when they are switched back on.
And those feelings don't have any other place to go. No sense. Just eating at them. And that's the way they've left them. Everyone I've come across. That's what they've done, and that's how they've left them. If we're being cards on the table, my friends, there's something they think they're doing best, too. There's places in the Reach that aren't safe for folks like me and Evie. When you're in a place that's not safe, they help. And they think they're doing well, too. But they don't do the harm that those folks who took. Evie's folks knew what she was. And they didn't care. She would have gone off world to an academy. But they didn't care. So that's who took her. I sound like a crank to say it's the Zodani. Or buying into fear-mongering. But a stopped chronometer is right twice a day. It seems like you folks have a lot to risk too. And I appreciate cards on the table. But this need go no further than where we are. I'll keep your secrets, you keep mine, and if you feel this is too much, I got friends. And I'll keep trying. His hat goes back on. I won't think anything less of you. So that's my story. I expect you folks want to talk freely before you make your decision. I'll find my way back to my cabin.
I'll escort him back.
Oh, well.
I mean, I think we're in agreement.
Yes,
We will help you.
Mr. Chase, there is no need. It's small ripples in the pond, my friend. Small ripples in the pond. Things like this will make a difference in a very small way. But the effects of making a difference here could have a much greater effect, and we will not know. We are resolved to help you. There is no need for any more secrecy. We are here openly. We're talking openly.
This is where his, in the film version of our campaign, the black and white film, where you would suddenly see his vibrant blue eyes for the first time. Because I'm a hack. Because he is quite, oh, Anna says hi. She was in stealth mode. Jesus, you scared me. Yeah, big hack. He is quite taken aback. He really expected you guys were like, oh, this? No, yeah, whew, that is a much bigger bite than I was looking to take on. He's speechless. If anyone else wishes to say anything.
The captain's been quiet.
I know.
So, what was that, James?
No, just listening.
Then I'll share, and he heads over and sort of, does whatever needs to be done to transfer the files over. Dr. Elias, if I could just have your comm unit for a moment, I'll put the pictures on there.
I've installed some very good antivirus software. Sure.
Yeah, little trick I learned from those. They posted on the. You wouldn't believe what this rube fell for this one time.
Yeah.
If you have any other questions in more pointed detail, Solomon Chase is happy to share them, or Solomon is happy to share them now.
So Elias would ask, so he knows the two people that are currently escorting Evie, then presumably the Bonhomme has a crew that we would also expect to be very dangerous and hostile if we try to intervene.
Yeah. But within the limits of Drinax as well. Drinax is a good place to change over because you've got a lot of, like, if you are smuggling, we're trying to escape with a kidnapped person, barring them alerting the locals, there's a lot of trade that passes through there. The law level is, if I remember, kind of high in the Flying City, but you could easily, change over. Oh, yeah. Easy cost, too. I think it is quite obvious that you're wearing it, is the only thing. It looks very much like a Spartan helmet, kind of comes in maroon color. I was reading about yesterday, with running Marvel Multiverse once again, they've introduced the psionic helmet, a thing that both Magneto and Juggernaut have as a item that, is common in X-Men campaigns, but... Yeah, but it is a hood, though. If I remember the illustration, it's like a kind of a hood type thing that you wear, so it is obvious you're wearing it. It's not like, they could be incorporated into, armor as well. So if you're wearing, I mean, you guys stroll around in battle dress most of the time, don't you? Now you got to figure out how to have that psychic, not a psychic helmet, but a psychic trench coat.
There could be moments.
So, any other questions for Solomon about this? And Dr. Ellis, he wasn't kidding about the fucking headaches. If you could make a medic check if you'd like to try and offset at least the side effects of the drugs.
Yeah, I can see if I can adjust some of that.
He really doesn't want to reduce the impact of them, but he doesn't want to. If you can help with the those side effects, that'd be great.
Wow.
Easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm sure there probably could be a market for that in help for Dr. Elias. Psionic headache medicine.
Yeah, exactly. Are you telepathic? Do you suffer from migraines?
Yep.
I mean, the intercessor might know more about these two psychics who go about kidnapping children. From what I remember of our encounter with the intercessor, he was slightly concerned about being hunted down as well. They're sort of hiding on Hilfer from potentially, I was led to believe, these Soldani.
Also seems that he was pretty keen on trying to get a King Oleb into an alliance of some kind.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Should we ask if he knows about the intercessor?
If you ask, he
I mean, if he.
I think
well,
that,
I mean, I'm asking the crew. I'm texting like Dr. Ilias and the other.
yeah, I mean, one thing you remember, you guys know that the intercessor is a gifted psychic, and seemingly works with a psychic as well, but that isn't public knowledge. You guys wanted to keep that under wraps because if there's a psychic alien running a fractious nation, right, full of a bunch of different gangs and tribes, that alliance is probably not going to hold together for very long.
Yeah, no, I think we'll keep that. We weren't asking about the intercessor. That's, we have a base level of trust, but that would be breaking the trust with the intercessor if we just go about.
Yeah. But you're not wrong about your summary of what the intercessor seemed concerned about. Psychic spies on his planet as well, too.
Hmm.
Oh, that's right.
That's the reason he hit Alonzo with a psychic whammy in the first place, right?
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's no way. No, we can't get Tilford's out of the way, unfortunately. Had we known, we could have got Bard a psychic whammy.
But once we've saved Evie, we might, if there's follow-up to be done for Solomon, it seems to be part of a larger plan. It might be worthwhile swinging by Hilfer or sending a message to the intercessor.
Yeah.
He'll explain that the Peerless, Peerless seems aware. If you happen to mention Hilfer, he's mentions that they're aware of but not associated with. So it seems that Alonso's not the first, kind of underground psychic who ran into issues on Hilfer. The Peerless, Peerless generally doesn't coordinate travel there. They recommend avoiding Hilfer for its travelers, as it were. He thinks at least one of them has, at least one of the two is a potent telepath, and he, from what he's heard, there is likely to be a powerful telekinetic among them as well. Now, there are all sorts of psychic cults and whatnot that spring up on worlds, and the popular fiction loves the idea of like battle psychics and things like that, or sometimes as the good guys, more often in Imperial fiction, the bad guys. But he has reason to suspect that one of them is physically dangerous and one of them is, psychically dangerous. Or telepathically dangerous, I guess, to be precise. But he doesn't know. the stories. It's difficult with these to parse fact from fiction. What he knows is the damage done to people's minds in their wake. And with things like telekinesis, that'd be fucking tough to point out what was caused by a psychic ability or was not. Doesn't leave residual, things. An accident caused by telekinetic. How would you prove that wasn't the case?
Yep.
As far as if we can get Evie, my friends can make arrangements to get us off Drinax. You don't need to trouble yourself beyond. I expect you got business that's taking you wherever it's taking you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. But of course, we acknowledging the ripples in the pond, we should evaluate that at that point, and we can assess together what the best actions will be.
Is that to the crew or to Solomon and the crew, or to just Solomon?
It's probably, I think Laris is probably just speaking out loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has Solomon revealed how old Evie is?
Evie was, hold up. I think it's been 3 months that he's been off planet, and she was taken, I want to say 6 months ago? Let's see here.
I thought it was years he's been looking for this woman.
It may have been. I can't. To be honest, I can't remember. Let me take a look and see if it's in the.
Yeah, I think in my notes it says 3 years.
Oh, it's been 3. Yeah, right. Because it was almost a full. Term.
Career. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Solomon Chase. Same case for 3 years. Every time he gets close to the kidnappers, something happens and they get away. So I think probably 8 or 9 at the time she was gone, which means 12. So still a child, like not a toddler or anything like that, but I mean, not a teen yet. They're not going to be at Drinax, but since you brought them up, it's worth remembering Mr. Tian and Mr. Gruxon owe you a debt. So you do have a debt you can call in with rent investigators of some accomplishment at some point. I mean, how they go about repaying it. They did shoot one of their own guys, if I recall. They didn't kill him, so there's that.
Yeah.
But
Well, pragmatists.
Yep, to their core. So then, Solomon asks, I mean, he's really at your disposal. What his plan was to stake out the Banam and wait to see Evie. It's been years, but he'll recognize her. He's seen pictures over the last year as in the course of his, tracks and whatnot, so he'll know her. Yeah. But she's not. It may be a ruckus in getting her away from them.
Yeah.
There may be ways. There may be ways. I like to always think there is a peaceful way.
Right.
somewhere Dane
But-
Laverick's ears are burning.
Yeah.
Tila Toral's like, what is it? He's like, I don't know, nothing. Just
And walked over my grave.
exactly. Then what? We have 10 or 11 days left. You'll be dropping into open space and then jumping to Drinax, so we have time to plan.
Oh, you could. Yeah, do you have time to plan?
And
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully we'll head them off. We'll be looking for that registry. Hopefully they. All right. Well,
one of the upsides you've got
change
is
things.
yeah, because of the way travel works and communication works in Traveler, like there's people generally like make their plans with a 1 or 2 week kind of leeway with it. I imagine because like you would have to if it's always going to take you a week and give or take in jump, and then also travel time within the system, and then unanticipated hiccups. So they're likely, if they're waiting for a rendezvous, that probably results in some kind of time with that they would spend in layover, in berth before taking on their cargo and leaving.
Yeah.
Cargo.
Yeah.
Then. Solomon, unless you guys have any other questions for him, when he leaves, he will struggle to get to the point of being a very terse, like, thanks. You know that there's a lot more meaning behind it for it, but that is the extent of the, of how demonstrative that Solomon Chase is likely to be. And it's, of course, over one shoulder with the collar of his trench coat up.
Absolutely.
The hat slouched down over one eye. So all you can see is the gray or black and whites and those blue eyes. Thanks. And he will head back to his quarters, leaving you guys to discuss what you wish to do.
Dr. Elias will turn to Ghani. Captain, you okay with all of this? I know it overlaps with a number of things from your point of view that might not be shared with the rest of us, or might be a different approach. But you are, the captain and part owner.
If you want to proceed this way, that's fine. So long as I do have my appointment to pass on some information later, so we don't want to be delayed too much, lest it become too stale.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think it would be good to tell the Imperium. I mean, they might know already, but it'd be good to tell the Imperium what we've learned about sort of Kudani kidnapping ring.
Yes, I will admit my knowledge of these warfare issues isn't as recent, as I was mostly cooped up in research labs, but I assume the Imperium would be interested in some sort of clandestine psychic recruitment spy thing going on in the Reach.
Oh, yes.
Did you have even more to pass on Ghani, potentially?
It is, and it's difficult to say. One way might be to focus on the counter espionage against whatever they're trying to do. Another kind of grim way of thinking about it is denying assets to the enemy. So they may have a more definitive end to the potential of using kids in whatever conflict that may come. There may also be, not to paint them as a, as a all evil, kind of thing, but because there are probably a lot of circumstances where living in, the consulate is preferable to living in some of the circumstances in the Third Imperium or the more oppressive, regimes as far as psychics are concerned.
Though of course, the Fourth Frontier War is less than a generation ago, and its shadow is cast very, very heavily across all of this space.
Yep.
And I wouldn't put it. I mean, since I'm a conspiracy theorist, I wouldn't put it past the Imperium to have their own recruitment for contingency.
Yep. A particular fire with fire is always a viable option.
Publicly we, publicly it's bad, but
Yeah.
if I were a conspiracy theorist, which of course I am. So.
Exactly. Professionally. I have my accreditation. It's right here.
I can't wait till Lorenzo and I get that book out.
So that leaves you guys all behind. Captain sounds like he's okay with this. Then what are the rest of you guys? Your Ultima 1 is going to, just out of habit, go back to being Yuri once again.
Yep.
He says, I apologize for the dramatic reveal. It just seemed by showing our vulnerability, it seemed he struck me as particularly invested in the disadvantaged. Oh, we lost David in the meet. Oh, and he's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Nice.
Yeah, the buttons. I'm not sure if you hit a button or not. I came very close to hanging up the first 2 times we've used meets. So
I think it's my connection dropping below a threshold where meets goes. Ooh, can't handle it.
Oh, okay, got it. I will say everyone's audio has been fucking great today, though. We've had everyone's clear. Levels are actually higher than
That's
what
good.
we've had
That's
in
good
Zoom.
to know. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's
because I know my wife and her sister were trying to record some streaming stuff.
Yeah.
Using OBS and Zoom, and I know they had an issue. At least
Zoom
once.
has an issue right now that apparently they're just not fixing. Because when I was troubleshooting it before, there's the same issues. Like they give a whole bunch of ways of trying to work around it, and the end story for everyone is like, and then I got a new computer, or then I started using something different. And this issue they were having with those low resources thing, I can't find any search result of that happening with meets. So, I mean, Zoom is in a bit of a free fall company-wise anyway, from what I understand. So maybe they're just not covering things. In OBS, we had an issue, not OBS, with Discord. We used Discord before, but I had major delays on my side. This is the one where I didn't have issues. So
yeah, I think Discord, you have to do that, like Nitro, and pump it up.
yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, they probably throttle the shit out of the service to be like, hey, you can pay for premium, by which I mean a functioning product. No, I mean, whatever, it's free. So like, what are you complaining about, Madison? You know?
No, it's I mean for the upgrade.
But yeah. One interesting thing too is a non sequitur, kind of, but with meets, it appears that you can have more than just fucking 2 channels open too. So when there's crosstalk, it doesn't just like cut people out. It feels more like an actual conversation where people are just able to talk over one another. I mean, like, that requires discipline, I guess, but it's nice because it sounds better rather than people kind of like when one person stops talking, suddenly someone else kind of chirps in. So anyway, that's been our meets portion of the our PSA, our non-sponsor for this. But if folks are having trouble with their own streaming, meets turns out I'm using the premium version, so I am paying for it to have a longer than an hour meeting, but it's so far been really, really good.
I wonder. So I wonder if that comes with because I do the Google Drive. I upgraded that. Is it the same service or different service?
I don't actually know. It's something called Google Prime is what you're paying for.
Yeah, okay.
So you may have it already.
I might have that. Yeah, I might have it because I need that. I have so much.
Yeah.
Stuff like one Google Drive. So
couple of questions in. We're gonna you'll be dropping out of Jump in a moment here, and then we'll be seeing what's going to happen in the second week. But anyone have?
Is that when she was gonna? Is that when the nun was gonna give us her speech?
Yeah, Mother Candle will certainly show you, or let me rephrase that. She will offer up to you the wisdom of the Candle in the Dark ministry. So that will be.
I thought. Well, in the second part of the jump.
She's offering on the first week. You guys were eager to go, so yeah, she's happy to. It's not her first time to the rodeo, and sometimes people require further enlightenment. They like time to consider, and a further weekend travel with nowhere else to disembark. What better opportunity to learn from the author of the Candle in the Dark Ministries? She also does that thing where she'll it's clearly something that's written by her, but it's about her in the third person. So it's, Mother Candle Hollybow is recognized as a valuable guide to the path of personal enlightenment across the sector. And even it's said her teachings are read in the Imperial Court.
What?
No, she's fucking lying. You do not have to make a roll for that. There's no way that is happening, but it is absolutely in her materials.
She can't help herself, can she? She
No.
can't help herself.
It's absolute charlatan through and through. But an incredibly effective one and potentially dangerous. Although she could be a good ally if you guys had less scruples about bamboozling people out of their, vulnerable people out of their money. By the time of the presentation, Burris, you will notice, is wearing a little insignia that is a candle. So he is well and truly seemingly under her sway. I assume none of the rest of you have spent any further time. Laris, what time
I don't know,
passes?
Maybe we should have asked, what's his name? Our private investigator. Is she a psychic?
Solomon? If you ask... no, and he will give you a quick read. This is where, the actual, experienced investigator.
She's a good con artist.
She's a con artist.
Augmented, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We saw the dime a dozen con artists. She's just good at it. And I've kept my... I wouldn't want anything to do with her. There's nothing psychic that's going on there, as far as I can tell. It is just good old-fashioned snake oil grifting. So, the presentation is, I will leave it to your imagination, of the worst kind of, self-help grift grind that dominates social media. That is Mother Candle. And there are pictures from perhaps a dozen worlds of people who are all grateful and happy to be part of her ministry. She is traveling on her own, but you can see she's got pictures where it's like hundreds of people who are all, all wearing the same kind of accoutrements and whatnot, all that lavender color she's got.
Inspiring testimonials, inspiring.
It's incredible how much she has changed lives and led to personal developments and achieved things, know. And it's always like the children of wealthy or the, or children associated with power. She has done very, very well for herself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Scary.
She has the potential to be. Of course, this is all her story told by her, of course. You are not hearing from anybody else yet. And I think that you guys did look into her beforehand, right? Was it Laris? Or was it someone looked into her, the Candle of Hope, before you guys took her on board?
Yeah.
She at least had some forewarning. But yeah, she seems quite effective at that. Anything else you guys wish to do during that first... Anchor, you want to give us... what would it be? Systems engineering or something
Engineering?
like that? Yeah.
Electronics.
I think it'd be repair, actually. But let me double check.
Is there repair? Is there repair?
Operate and maintain spacecraft and advanced systems. Yeah, life support. No, you're absolutely right. Engineering, life support.
Okay.
See if you can't sort out that thing. I mean, me and Sullivan Chase can't walk around in a full trench coat and suit the whole time, but, you know, sacrifices must be made for comfort.
6. I guess we'll spend 2 since we're near the end.
Luck, sure.
Is that cool?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so then with, you're able to troubleshoot that issue, and you're able to resolve the problem in time for us to drop out of warp in empty space. Anything else you guys wish to do in that first week?
Is it completely empty, or is this just like fun, like,
No, it's
anomaly?
wide open space. There's no system, no stars.
No weird comet, no.
No.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
We hoping for... I mean, did I mention
No,
the
no,
ancient
because-
ship? There's an ancient ship there, too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, something to help us precipitate out of jump, Be a way station for, Captain Johnny. We could sell this information to somebody, but no dice.
Oh, he has... Captain Gani has a hot date with... because of where you guys are going, naval intelligence, which
Right.
typically doesn't operate outside of the Imperium. But there's there's retired naval officers who are helping a local warlord with their battleship, or their cruiser. I think it's not a battleship, but yeah. All right, so then you guys, I want to say translate, but that's 40K. So you drop out of jump, and just in time for us to wrap up this session, and then we'll see what happens in the next week of jump, and see if Mother Candle can uncover that you guys have something cooking or not. Let me get back to our main screen here, though. Here we go. For those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 4 of our Pirates of Drinax leg of our campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the adventure, the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There is also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to Traveler games, channel dedicated to most of the games we run on the channel, as well as things like finding a group, GM discussion, virtual tabletop chat. There's a ton of helpful, knowledgeable, and friendly people over there to help with any aspect of gaming you may want to chat about or get some advice on. You are more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games, and I'm thrilled to share that we have a discount code. I've been neglectful in following up with them. It's not their delay, it was my fault, but if you're not familiar with them, Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including a wide selection of Traveler stuff. If they do not have in stock something that you're looking for, you can put it on a want list, and they will send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MuserFrost. All caps, all one word, is listed in the description down below, and you will save yourself 10% in your purchase. You can also check back. That is good until, January 15, 2025. So through to the new year. If you're listening to us after that time, come back to one of our more recent videos, and you'll find what the current discount code is there. There's also a link down below to to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's a charity, the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a terrific organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including, Anna heard me doing the outro. Nice, sweetie pie. Including a bunch of things you can learn about by following that link. All donations through the link go directly to them. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. And as a small way of saying thank you, we still have voting open for the penultimate mashup session. We're running a series of mashup charity sessions where we take classic adventures or modules or campaigns and run them with games that are not designed to be played with. Currently, we're voting on the Pathfinder 1st Edition Classic, Rise of the Rune Lords. There are 4 options, and 3 of them have votes already. Voting is open until next Sunday. Then we'll be voting on which of the iconics we'll be seeing in that adventure. So it will be a lot of fun. And then we got one more after that, which I think I revealed. Already, which is going to be the Dracula dossier, the Ken Hite mega campaign of espionage and vampires. And that'll be our final one. You'll be able to vote on all aspects of both of those games as well. I'll also mention, increasingly over the course of the month, my facial hair will continue to look stupider and stupider, or at least more dumb than it does normally, because I'm taking part in the Movember thing. I'm not going to include a link because there's different ones in different countries. I'll just mention that it does benefit. Traditionally, it used to be just cancer stuff, but it's expanded to be a men's health thing in general, so mental health as well as physical health. So if you are inclined to donate to Movember, find somebody doing it that you know and just donate through there so you can get the tax credit on top of supporting a charity that supports men's health. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart players. So James, Carl, David, and Graham, thank you so much for playing today, guys. Really great session. I love our chatty sessions.
Yeah,
Especially when you have low luck. That I'm more inclined to have the blow you up sessions when you guys have a little more luck to bring to the table. But we will be back aboard the Rift Wanderer in 2 weeks' time to see what Mother Candle may have in store for our travelers. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that are, well, I mean, our stalwart crew are uncovering in the course of their travels. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.